Hello, good morning, everybody. When I think about today, this is how I feel, just like Michael Bublé sings. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. So I hope you all feel the same way, and it's a new day. It's Monday, and I hope everybody is ready to go for the Monday. um, so this is my podcast for the week, and I am going to talk about happiness and Buddhism. Well, Buddhist teachings. I'm not particularly a fan with that ism word. So I will use the word Buddhist teachings. Um, so happiness is the new trend that I think, well, it's not the new trend, but I think nowadays that everybody, it seems that paying a lot attention to that word, and I hear that word a lot, and you see that people write thousands of books about how to be happy and makes the how things make them happy. So when we do certain things, they think that happier we become. So all kind of things, and so whether they are right or not, that we are living in a world that we all are pursuing happiness, and we study, go to college, get degrees, and find good jobs that pays good salaries, and we buy big houses, big cars, and we have a lot materials, and the purpose of all that is that we think all these things would make us happy, and it sure does. And but um, in a after a while we lose the excitement, and then we go to a something else and be looking. So the happiness is, you can see that it changes. It doesn't stays the same. And I hear that people say sometimes, I wouldn't be more than happier to have that. If I have that, I would be the happiest person in the whole world. But once they receive it, and people who says that, and I see that they lose that happiness because the excitement goes away. It's just the reality. So in living in this world, in this especially in this Western society, that I think that's the norm idea, that we have to be happy. And so when it's come to spirituality, the Buddhist teachings also delivered in a way that, so people think that Buddhist teachings is all about pursuing happiness, which is really a big misunderstanding, because his teachings is not about pursuing happiness. And I've seen so many books written about this on this subject, but I have to say, and I have to disagree with them, that this is a path that leads you to understand the reality of life. So when people came to the Buddha when he was still alive, and they would ask the questions that irrelevant to what he taught, and he keep telling them that my purpose here is not to teach you about extraterrestrial worlds. My purpose is not here to talk about all the other galaxies. My purpose here is not to talk about all the other subjects, but my only purpose here is to help you, to guide you to understand the reality of life. The reality of life is, he broke it down to Four Noble Truths. So there is a dissatisfaction that going on with our lives. There is a constant battle that we go through in our lives, and to understand that why we suffer, and why we are not happy, and why we become so attached to things. And so this is the core message, the teachings of the Buddha. And so he, like thousands of times in sutras, that he keep coming back to this topic. So it's so crucial, it's so important to understand. As his students, if you think that you are a student of the Buddha, that his teachings is about actually understanding this nature, reality, in a deep sense. It's not in a vague way, but going into details and seeing it through on your experiences, and with the direct experience. So that's his message. And the happiness and peace and harmony, all these things are a byproduct, because when we have that ultimate understanding about reality, that we get the idea, that we have the sense that attachments and trying to grab to things, and too much craving, excessive compulsive holdings, actually ultimately leads us to unhappiness. So once we understand that, we start to release that, the pressure that we have, the pressure that society gives us, the pressure that society built for us. So when we were able to relax and release, let go, then the life, automatically we start to simplify life. And once we simplify life, and happiness is something is that you don't have to work on, it's there. And so I don't think that we can be happy, but we can do things that make us happy. So I think there is a big difference. So I think when we try to chase to be happy and to be peaceful, I think it's another goal that we driven by, and ultimately which can lead us to dissatisfaction. And I see that a lot happen with people, and people come to temples and they start to meditate, they get all excited, and then they see that whatever they expected is not there. Because I think the part of problem is that we don't understand, but the value, we don't understand the main focus of the teachings. And once we understand, I think the happiness or peace actually even not a question, because it's there once the other things are completed. So the pursuing happiness with Buddha's teachings, I think has to stop, because it's just like driven, we just driven in the material world. There is no difference actually if we are looking for pursuing happiness through this particular path, because I don't think that's how it's going to work. And so in Buddha's study, teachings, that he talks about that sukha kama, that's the natural human tendency is that we are sukha kama. We like to be happy, and that's that's what we do things for, and we survive, we do things to be happy, and it's not something extraordinary thing, and it's just a very human condition. We are looking for happy, and we are dukkha patikula, and we always push away our bitter experiences, and we embrace sweet things, and we push away our bad things that we have labeled as bad, pain, suffering, all that stuff. We don't want to deal with it. So we repulse these things, and so the Buddha's message actually not to repulse that the pain or suffering that we go through, the difficulties that we go through, that instead he said that be aware of it, and be mindful of it, and try to analyze it and see where it comes from and what's the origin of it. And when we always try to push away that and reach to happiness, there is a friction going on. There is a that's not how it works. And so when we try to push something away and we work so hard that go against that unpleasant feelings or unpleasant experience that we have, and there is so much it causes so much pain and suffering to us, because right there that we even suffer to do that. So this path is actually, we don't have to take it so hard on it, and we just can understand the reality, how things work, how life works. And so ultimately understanding the how things change and applying it to your life. And when things happen surrounding you, when things happen to your relationships, when things fall apart, and if we can uh, take all these bits of pieces and put that together, puzzles together, and understand why that happened, and what is the origin of it, and what kind of solutions I have, and taking time to analyze it, and taking time to aware of it. That's where I think the Buddhist teachings start to kicks in. And so this deep understanding, direct understanding, this direct experience that we have within ourselves, that when we relate to the reality or the nature, how things work, and we would be able to let go the pressure that we built on those things, especially with materials and relationships. And so we able to release it, and so we can let go that excessive compulsive behaviors, hoarding and collecting things and attaching to our emotions a lot. And so we can start to release it, let it go. And so it takes a lot of practice, but it can be done. So in Buddha's path, I don't want people to misunderstand. I feel like that the happiness, finding peace, is becoming a more and more a business. It has a lot market value, and because our nature is that we all are looking for happiness, there is nothing wrong with it. But the I feel sorry for sometimes people, because I feel like that these people who understand the where the market is right now, it's like they are trying to sell it, and so people just fall into it, and we get caught up with these exotic words and teachings and prayers and I'm not saying those things are bad, but I'm saying is that Buddhist teachings actually the his message is not about how to become happy. He did not talk about such thing. Instead, he said understanding of the reality, and he said, I am here just to explain the suffering of life. And so once we understand what makes us suffer, and then we can find the solution. And so once we find the solution, that we can break through it, we can see that how we built these patterns and how we created it, and we can go back and untangle it. And so it's all in our control, and we pretty much lots of suffering that we deal with, even the pain. Think about physical pain that neurologists suggest that if we pay attention and if we are being patient about it, and we can actually deal with it like 40%, which means we have lots of control when it's come to even very severe physical pain. So there are so many things that we can do to understand these things. And when we realize it, the potential, the skills that we have, and the how powerful we are, and so the happiness, becoming happy is out of the question. So there are so many things that we have to practice, train, and once we do that, I think happiness is just um, it's just a byproduct, and it's just right there. But there are so many other things that we have to practice to get there. So I hope this will give you some things to think about for this week, and probably maybe not the thing that you want to hear on a Monday, but we are driven in a world, a society, that we get so caught up with things that we think that necessary, but really not true. So I wanted to give you a little flavor of what Buddhist teachings is all about. So this 15 minutes not a lot of time to explain it. So if you have any questions, you can make comments on the Facebook page, and once I post this. And I hope you all will have a good week, and I'm really hoping you all um, feeling good, just like I do. Thank you, and you all have a wonderful week.